Hi, friendos. Welcome back. Let's continue moving through the crew. So, in fact, let's see if there's any convos happening in the crew quarters here. I like this. I like being able to listen in on
What's wrong?
I lost contact with
the workers here.
Might be the collectors.
Oofity.
Did your family get out of there?
I don't know.
Hug.
There's no communications yet.
Huggy.
I'm sure they're safe. You'll see.
Many hugs. Now, Shepard's gonna take note of that, and if she, like, is able to do anything about New Canton or go investigate there, she's gonna do that. Because that's how she is. And she wishes that man a lot of luck and just hopes that his family's safe too. Because she feels that one. For sure. She was afraid Liara wasn't safe for a long time, but she is doing fine. Like, when she saw her again on Ilium, it was just like, oh, thank God, you know? Even though it was hinted at that she was doing well before, you know, well-ish, as well as one can be after losing a loved one as suddenly as she did, you know? And going through the whole grieving process. And then suddenly she's back in her life, too, you know? Oy.
Commander, what can I do for you?
Let's see if Miranda has anything new to say.
Do you have a minute, Miranda?
Of course. I'm just finishing an operation report. I'm impressed, Shepard. So far things have gone exceptionally well. As Cerberus operations go, this is one of the best I've been a part of.
Cerberus obviously has your loyalty. How did you get involved with them?
I suppose you've earned the right to know. Do you remember when I told you how I was genetically altered? Well, that wasn't my choice. My father created me. He's a very influential man and extremely controlling. He didn't want a daughter. He wanted a dynasty. I ran away as soon as I was old and brave enough. I went to Cerberus because I knew they could protect me.
Now, I feel like I did this conversation earlier in this playthrough. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm misremembering that because I've never been all too fond of Miranda's attitude, but there's parts of the game, actions she takes, things she says, that I feel are, like, I think she's a really well-written character. I just don't like listening to her in these conversations because I feel like she has a lot of reasons and opinions and ideas that are the kind of thing that I frankly don't like listening to. It's hard to kind of explain what I mean, but I'm sure I'll come up with examples here.
You seem capable of defending yourself. Why did you need Cerberus?
My father invested a great deal in his dynasty. It wasn't a matter of just leaving. I knew he would continue to pursue his investments.
And he probably had a lot of power to do so, so that makes sense in that light to her.
I assume that Cerberus approves of your enhanced abilities?
Of course. Cerberus fully endorses anything that advances the cause of humanity. Genetic alterations included. But unlike my father and his own selfish reasons, Cerberus and the Elusive Man believe in a greater good. They see the bigger picture, and I feel like I have a purpose here.
Now, I understand her viewpoint because of what they did for her, but I feel like she doesn't see the bigger picture, and neither does Elusive Man, and frankly, that at the very least, a lot of the people in Cerberus, including probably her, probably do believe in a greater good. I don't think Elusive Man does. I think Elusive Man, I don't even know what to think. I think he does want to advance humanity's influence and power, but I don't know about the race itself and uplift everyone, especially because, you know, she said genetic alterations included, but, in the name of advancement for humanity, they've killed countless humans in all sorts of horrid experiments. I mean, I just did the last... actually, no. The last major mission I did was the Firewalker set of missions, but... Actually, wait. Is there any more Firewalker stuff? Did I forget? Have I not finished that yet? Don't quote me. I don't remember. I'll have to look and see if there's more Firewalker stuff. But after I make the crew rounds. We did... we did Overlord, the DLC Overlord, Project Overlord, you know, where they took an autistic kid and hooked him up to this horrifying machine to interface with Geth in a clearly painful way that he wanted to stop so badly that he basically, as far as I'm aware, went nuts and couldn't really control what he was doing, and so the Geth killed everyone. And his brother was very, very convinced that he was doing the right thing. And I think the main reason that he kept pushing on the way that he did was because of Elusive Man's influence. In fact, no. The only reason he did what he did specifically in that situation, forcing his brother into that the way that he did, was because Elusive Man was going to pull the plug. There's good people in Cerberus. Elusive Man is not good people. Elusive Man has this callous drive to, honestly, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure all he really wants to do is advance his own power. That seems to be pretty clear, especially when we get to Mass Effect 3. So I think the main thing I'm not too fond of regarding Miranda, like I was saying earlier, was that she's so unwaveringly loyal to Cerberus, and she doesn't seem to see our side of things, because we've seen the dark side of them firsthand. She's seen how they helped her out of her situation. Let me... decline that. Whew. How does she respond to this?
Talk about yourself like you're just a tool to be used by your father, by Cerberus.
Maybe. I like to know where I fit in the world. It helps me find meaning in how I was created.
Interesting.
You are who you are, Miranda. You don't need to make excuses for it.
That's easy for you to say. We've both been engineered for greatness, Shepard. The difference is you were great before we rebuilt you. I'm great because of it.
Yeah, I get how she thinks like that, but I also agree with Shepard in what she's about to say here.
Your spirit and personality are what make you great. It's what makes anyone great.
That's kind of you. I'm not sure I believe you, but thanks for saying it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think part of why she's so... I think probably the main thing that's keeping her so unwaveringly loyal to Cerberus is that right there. Her whole servitude complex thing. And she's probably basically filling an emotional gap that her father left, you know, because she feels like she needs to be needed, and I think it's partly because of how her father raised her, but it's also because of the fact that, again, like she said, it helps her find meaning in the fact that she was engineered to be perfect, instead of just, allowed to become her own woman, or at least that's how she sees it. But I'd say that she became her own woman regardless. It's just that she doesn't think it was her choice to be the way she was. And she probably doesn't really think it was her choice to join up with Cerberus either, even though it was. At least that's what I'm getting from what she's saying here. But I get a lot of that. She doesn't seem to think very highly of herself, which is interesting, because she clearly is aware that she's very, literally exceptionally good at a lot of things because of how she was genetically engineered. But what's interesting is that doesn't seem to give her any kind of real cockiness the more you talk to her. She sounds cocky at first when she's saying a lot of that stuff, but she's not really cocky. She's actually got a pretty big inferiority complex because she knows that, at least in those ways, those natural talents she has, they really aren't just her doing. They really aren't just, things that happened because of her being her. They were things that her father specifically made sure she had for his own gain. So, yeah, how she is makes a lot of sense. I'm just not too fond of how she is.
Thanks for your time, Miranda. I'll talk to you later.
Anytime, Commander.
Frankly, I don't know if Shepard really wants to continue, and I don't either, talking to Miranda, because I feel like she's kind of been indoctrinated by the elusive man in a way, and she doesn't really like having that energy and that angst that she has, but she likes talking to her, and frankly, of course, she's very attracted to her, because she's a rampant lesbian, and Miranda is literally engineered to be like a 10 out of 10, So, duh, but she just does not like her attitude. She understands why she is, she just doesn't like it, like me.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
However, we're
Sure,
gonna be
just got
talking
time
talking to
Optimizing
Garrus.
weapons charges, planning attack vectors, relax. I'm still trying to figure out how to prepare for this mission. Humans don't deal with stress the way Terrans do.
Okay, I swear that I've had this conversation too. Why does it keep repeating? Have I not saved since the last time I did this? I swear I had that conversation in this one too. Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, you know what? I think these are just kind of repeatable convos. I don't really think he has much more to say. And also, he had a lot more to say in Enemy 1, I think. And I think that's part of why this is it. But yeah, we've had this before, and I think it's repeatable.
Thanks for the talk, Garrus.
Sure thing.
Question. Does Miranda have anything new? Does he have anything new? Hold on. Does he have anything new?
Shepard, need me
Have
for
you got a
something?
minute?
Sure, just optimizing weapon. I'm still trying to figure out how to prepare for this mission.
Yeah, okay, that's... Okay,
Sure thing.
yeah, that repeats. Does Miranda's repeat? I think, honestly, she... Okay, I'm curious about this
Commander,
now.
what can I do for you?
Do you have a minute, Miranda?
There's a lot to do,
Okay,
Shepard.
well, interesting.
Of course,
She's
Commander.
actually locked out of it. I wonder if that really is it for her. Well, I guess so. Alright, well, cool. There isn't any more anyway. Alright, well, hold on. I don't think Chakwas has anything new to say, or, Gardner either, but I want to make the rounds and make sure.
What's this area of the ship?
Not Edie, though. She's not too keen on
How may
talking
I
to
help
Edie.
you,
I feel like she'll
Commander?
be more keen on talking to Edie in ME3 because of developments that happen, and she'll trust her a lot more in ME3 for reasons I'm not going to spoil in case y'all aren't privy to ME3. If I talk about spoilers, I'll always try to keep it to the current game I'm on. Not the one before, not the one after. Well, probably the one before sometimes. Especially if I'm talking about my character, because I'll want to refer to her past sometimes, or their past, depending on, what gender I'm playing in whatever game, but, I'll probably always have a role-playing bent to what I do, to how I play games. Especially how I play them on this channel. I'm pretty sure I've talked to her about all this.
I'll see you later, Doctor.
Commander,
But yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I was like, hold on. What's going on? Whew.
How can I help you, Commander?
Let's see here.
Do you have everything you need?
Absolutely. Since you set up my kitchen
Beautiful.
with proper supplies, thanks again.
You're welcome.
I won't take any more of your time.
Back to work.
Alright, I'm gonna check something real quick. Yeah, everything seems to be, everything seems to check out. I should be recording fine. Alright, cool. Right, if not, whoopsie, but I'm pretty certain. And it looks like we're actually speeding through the crew. It depends on how people on engineering are, because there's a lot of people in engineering. I think there's the most people in engineering, and there's probably the most people I haven't really talked to much, like Tali.
Kenneth, what has the new shielding done to your power grid balance?
Not much. With built-in capacitor subsystems, they have a surprisingly low draw.
Doesn't that mean the shielding boost wouldn't last long under fire?
True. They're built for hard, fast strikes, not firefights of attrition.
I find it really fascinating how believable their technical talk sounds to me. Granted, I'm not an engineer type person like they are, but let's be real here. This kind of dialogue is probably really hard to write because they're making technical jargon about things that don't exist in any, like, things like Mass Effect drives do not fucking exist and probably will never exist in reality. They made technical jargon about it that sounds believable. You know? It sounds kind of like if you were just, you know, walking by some engineers in real life and they were talking about their jobs, you know? And that's exactly what this is, and I think it's done very well. And I think it's that their whole dynamic and how they speak is very believable, and I love them too as characters, for sure. I'm pretty sure since I already did the poker thing with them, I don't know if there's anything more that they're actually going to say to me.
What can we do for you, Commander?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Carry on.
Will do,
If it's
Commander.
just the standard line and then just an investigate, then it's probably some I've done. Like, not probably, absolutely, I've touched on those before as much as I'd want to. Hey, Dally.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
Have you got time to talk?
Sure. Let me just... Come on, you little boshtet! Oh, sorry. I've got a small fever and I'm taking it out on the poor drive core.
Oofity.
Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Got sloppy while doing some suit repair.
Oofity. She knows why Quarians get sick. She's probably known that for a while because she's been interested in alien species. She's probably ended up looking up a lot of things on extranet, you know? So...
You're sick? Do you need help or time to rest?
Really, it's not that bad. If a stray bit of bacteria could really kill us, we'd have all died by now.
Makes
The
sense.
fever should go away in a day or two. Don't worry. It won't affect my performance on the mission. It's not even an illness, really. What we experience is actually an acute allergic reaction.
Which makes a lot of sense. And I think she's slightly privy to that, but hearing it from an actual Quarian does feel enlightening to her regardless. In fact, let's talk to her a little bit more about this.
How exactly does the sickness work? It's an allergic reaction?
Right. Say I get exposed to a human disease, like... What did Navigator Presley have that time? Chickenpox? I wouldn't get chickenpox, but I'd run a fever as my system reacted to the foreign presence. Depending on where it hits me, I could get other symptoms. Nausea, vomiting, everything you'd expect from being sick.
Very interesting. I think the reason it doesn't affect Quarians like it would affect the species that the disease originates from is because of differences in biology. But I think it's very fascinating, the Quarian immune system thing. There's just so much in this universe that I love to unpack and think about. And that's a huge reason why I wanted to do this specific series. And then I'll probably want to unpack more about these games later. Especially because I haven't really touched 3 or Andromeda much. Not really. I mean, I played through a good chunk of 3, but never finished it. And I never played much of Andromeda, but I want to fix that as soon as possible.
Were your immune system stronger before the Geth drove you from your homeworld?
Not as strong as those of
On
most
this
races,
channel.
definitely. I'm not a biologist, but there's a theory about it. Because our planet lacked insect life, plants developed symbiotic relationships with large animals to spread seeds or pollen.
Interesting.
Most viruses on our world were partially beneficial, so our immune systems evolved to be weak.
Interesting.
They were more likely to adapt to contamination than fight it.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I've actually explored that before, but that kind of makes a lot of sense.
But Quarians colonized other worlds. They couldn't have all been like that.
They weren't. Most colonists went through a period of mild illness before adapting to the new environment. When the Geth took the homeworld in our colonies, the sterile environment on the flotilla ruined our immune system's adaptability.
I see.
Even if we colonized a new world or reclaimed our own, we'd need a long process of bioengineering to recover.
Oofity. She's not gonna pity party her, by the way. Like, she's done with this conversation right now because, frankly, like, it's very clear that Tali's just cool with being... it's very clear from the earlier conversation that she doesn't want pity and she's fine. And she's just dealing with it. Just like anyone with any sort of acute condition of any kind often tends to deal with it. Like, I'm autistic. I have Asperger's syndrome, and I also have ADHD. There's a lot that comes with that can be challenging, but at 26 years old, I'm a lot better at dealing with that, you know? And I think that it's similar in this situation with the whole Quarian, illness thing, and the fact that they get symptoms real easy if they come into contact with any kind of virus because of how their immune systems are. But she's just, all right, oh, okay, whatever about it, and I like that about her. It shows strength, and she's a very strong woman, and I love her for that. I love Tali so much for a lot of reasons. There's just a lot of great things about these characters to me. And I think Tali's one of the people that I would absolutely love to meet in real life if that was possible.
Talk to you later, Tali. I hope you feel better soon.
See you later, Shepard.
Wholesome friendos. Anyway. Alright, so. Words. Okay. Hello, Zaid. Let's go ahead and talk to him for a bit.
This mission takes me back.
I'm sure it does.
Can't say I blame Taylor's pop. A man does what he has to do to survive. Ran up against a Batarian camp, not too different from that one.
Interesting.
Job was to erase the whole thing from the map. Men, women, and the man in charge. Learned that day that despots are cowards. You show them you're in charge, not them, and they cry like little girls.
Yeah, that's kind of what Jacob's dad did. But yeah, Zaid is just so comfortable with the dark side of humanity because of who he is that I'm not surprised he doesn't blame Taylor's dad, even though Taylor's dad was a disgusting human being. I think Kelly sums up Zaid's disposition pretty well when she says he's really well adjusted, despite all the shit he's seen, man. I really like unpacking Zaid because there's a lot to his character and he's a very strong one. Same with Kasumi. Because they were DLC, there's clearly a little bit less content about them than there would be otherwise for all the other party members, but they fit so well into everything that I'd never not recruit either of them. Hell, I mean, I'd never not recruit any of the people here. But yeah, I love these two. I love, this is how you do a good character DLC. And frankly, character DLC is probably, party member DLC is probably something I'd definitely do if I made an RPG, because I love the idea of expanding your character roster. And I would probably try to do it somewhat like this. If my systems, if the way the game is set up and the engine and everything needs workarounds for this to work right, which is probably why Zaid and Kasumi are the way they are, maybe also because of time constraints and etc. Anyway.
Doesn't matter who you are. You got a gun in your face, chances are good you'll do what the other man says. Only two types don't buckle at that point. Trained killers and psychopaths. A lot of people can't tell the difference.
Interesting. In fact, hell, I bet a lot of people couldn't tell the difference between him and Jack at first, because she's a psychopath. He's the trained killer. I say she's a psychopath, but I feel like she has... psychopath? I don't know about psychopath. Would you say that Jack's a psychopath, people? I'm leaning in that direction, but I don't really know if she's really, she really fits the definition of psychopath. She's just someone who, is she a psychopath, friends? I just kind of would like to know your opinion on that, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain why, but I don't think that she really fits that.
Beauty, isn't it? Pried that off the Krogan warlord, Kazak. Used to run the blood pack out of Omega about 17 years ago. Wasn't even a job. The guy just thought he'd hijack a freighter I was hitchhiking on. Big mistake. I goaded Kazak into one-on-one combat. Took out his legs, grabbed his gun, and killed every blood pack bastard in the room.
Wait, hold on. I've already done this for y'all. I keep forgetting that and just listening to it. Because, I don't know, I like hearing them talk. Voice acting is just top notch in this game. The voice directing, I'd say, was pretty damn good in most scenarios. And the voice acting itself, the actors and actresses, all top notch. By the way, before I come down here, I know I'm right down here and Jack's right there, but I like trying to go down the ship and do things in order from bottom to top, and I think it's part of my Asperger's syndrome, but it feels a lot more satisfying that way for me to do things in a certain order, even if it requires backtracking because the ADHD part of my brain decided to go down there for some reason, when the next thing I wanted to do was talk to Brent.
Shepard.
Anyway.
Just checking in. How are you doing?
The hold is too open. Not enough cover. Armor is limited. Warlord Granth would target here to scatter heavy cargo, then focus on engines. That's what tank imprints show about human ships, anyway. It's how I learned from the tank. Old pictures where memory is. Like holding a book for a child. Just remember this, picture after picture. No help with finding a reason to care.
Interesting.
What other human info's floating around in there?
Less than a finger deep to sever your spine. You're soft. Solarians, Asari, all soft. Quarians, not so much. Turians, you have to work the blade, I guess. Don't see much point to it, though. Much point. Never mind.
I like that he has a sense of humor. That probably wasn't intended by Okir, by the way. I like that. Nice pun. Grunt's situation is interesting. I really like that he has... The more you talk to him, the more you realize he does have a sense of humor. And it's interesting, because Okir raised him to be this perfect war machine, clearly. And he's definitely not really that. He's really good at killing, but I don't know. He's his own being. He grows into his own being. Because he decides what to do with all this information in his head, eventually. And it's really fascinating to think about that. There's just so much great stuff about these characters, man. Like I keep saying.
Something must move you. You're as genetically Krogan as you can get.
I see suffering, the dead, and I think weak. I'm supposed to be strong. My guts were grown from thousands more worthy. The dead were weak. If they were strong, I wouldn't be needed. I don't know why Okir started teaching. When he turned on the tank the first time, I screamed. Weak. Pitiful.
So you started small, but you became what you are. Not everyone gets that chance.
I'm built for strength, but didn't earn it. I just am.
Interesting. Similar to
Those
Miranda in
dead
that
were
way.
strong enough to try, even if they lost. The perfect Krogan, ignoring what made me. No strength in that. I'll take another look at what happened to the Krogan. Find a reason to care about it.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Shepard,
Just checking in. How are you doing?
humans talk too much. Like the tank. Come back later.
Alright.
That's all for now.
Shepard.
Now, I think the only person that's left is dear old Jack. Though I don't know if she'll have anything to say, because I think I made a point to going on my way to talk to her. We'll see.
It's this area of the ship.
I'm pretty sure she'll have at least one more thing to say, though.
That's
I don't
all for
know.
now.
Oops, I went into
I'll
Zaid's
move
room
out,
without
Shepard.
thinking. She's down these stairs. Let me do some in real life real quick, friends. Sorry for the weird pause. There we go. Hello, Jackie Grill. I almost called her Jackie Boy.
Hey.
Probably just because of the name.
What's happening?
You got a lot of questions, don't you?
I miss your friendly nature when you're not around.
I've been thinking. We've seen a lot of shit together now, and you're always coming to talk to me. It's just, I'm not really a girls' club kind of person. I like you, all right? That's a good place to start.
You know, I feel like if we had a chance to respond, if she had a chance to respond, she'd probably be like, well, you've got a point there. You know, just kind of smirked and walked away. Because, I mean, frankly, it's probably really obvious to her that she's really into girls. Probably especially because of the way she probably looked at Jack a lot when first getting to know her. Like, damn, that body, those tats, you know? Like, it's probably really obvious to her that Shepard's as lesbian as humanly possible. Because, especially probably because it's probably really obvious how into Aelin she is too, and like, you know, women in general. And Jack might have overheard stuff about Liara, or that she came to the ship, or, you know, her kind of flirting with Kelly a bit earlier. Like, there's a lot of hints probably that she's lesbian, because she's just that lesbian. She wears it on her sleeve. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's honestly, like, Shepard is not burned by that or upset by that at all. And honestly, like, because of how Jack talks to her now, it's not as defensive as before. Just blunt, because I'm pretty sure Jack can be nothing else but blunt, frankly. And Shepard likes that in people, like I do in real life. By the way, anything else?
Hey,
What's happening?
Shepard, we talked enough. You're just pissing around. No hard feelings, but I don't want to play.
Fair enough.
I should go.
Whatever.
See, again, just bluntness, and she's just like, yep, whatever is basically how Shepard feels about that, too. So she's just gonna go back up to the ship and get to work. Jack is how she is. It's all good. It's basically how she thinks about her. It helps. Because, frankly, by her very nature, she's a hard person to deal with. I mean, why wouldn't she be? Anyway. Alright. Bye bye fuel, bye bye fuel, bye bye probes. Moose Rulu. Okay, let's make 100% certain first that there's nothing here except for Reaper IFF. Yep, nothing here. So, I'm gonna leave that here, friends. Sorry for that cliffhanger, but we'll definitely The episode for that will definitely come out tomorrow. Absolutely, definitely. So I hope y'all enjoy that one, because I'm actually going to record it shortly after I start uploading this one. So, and that will definitely be up tomorrow. So I hope y'all have absolutely wonderful days, and I'll talk to y'all in the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to. Follow my Twitch and my Twitter if you'd like to. And, yeah, have a good day, friends.